welcome. This is the City of Lansing Citizens Academy. My name is Erin Buitendorp, and I'm the Neighborhood Resource Coordinator for the Department of Neighborhoods and Citizen Engagement. This is a 10-week program that was an application-based. The application started July 1. It ran through August 1st, and then we did a live draw on Facebook Live with Mayor Shore in his office, and it's candidates from across the city. Or I should say applicants rather. They had to live within the city of Lansing, be 18 or older, and a couple other incidentals like don't have any outstanding warrants or also have their property taxes paid. So we did 4 wards because there are 4 wards in the city. So we had 6 people from each ward. We have 26 total. 2 community partners are part of this group, so there's 24 that are across the city and then 2 community partners. And this is our 3rd night at Parks and Rec. We are actually at their home base. This is the Foster Community Center. So we're gonna be learning everything about Parks and Rec.
So far in Citizens Academy, I've learned about the city attorney's office and city council. I've learned a lot about the importance of getting involved in participating in boards all around the city, and going to city council meetings and how that really matters to make sure that your voice is heard as a citizen, and also what the city attorney's office does.
So as you're probably learning, we in the city try to maximize our resources, and so there are grants that we're involved in, and one such is through the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, and it's called Invest Health. And so we're a partner with, I believe it's the Am County Health Department and Southside Community Coalition, and I'm sure there's one more and I'm forgetting, but essentially it's challenges and resources and opportunities and learning from these different cities, and they learn from us and things that they maybe have encountered that we can learn from and how to better our cities.
We are going to walk down Foster Street to the south. We will dead end into Foster Park. We have a great collaboration with Allen Neighborhood Center, and they applied for a MSHDA grant. And this is something actually that we're looking to do really on a bigger scale here in Lansing, as far as obviously we applied for a lot of grants that government is eligible for. Usually those involve the Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund grants for enhancements in parks, could be for park acquisition funds. Those are all available. So what the trust fund is, it was established in 1976, thereabouts, and it is oil and mineral rights that take place on state lands. That all gets put into a fund, and it funds parks and recreation projects and acquisition of land really in perpetuity. So that has been in all 83 counties. Probably the latest example of that, we had Kriegel Park, that was done through trust funds. So, but what we're trying to do is have a nonprofit arm that will allow us to then apply for grants that are only available to 501c3s. So we are looking to start the Parks Foundation here. We've actually filed the articles of incorporation and all of that, but that is what Allen Neighborhood Center has been able to do for us down here at Foster Park. So that was a grant for 501c3s, and they applied and got it. So we'll be seeing the enhancements down there.
Welcome to the Cristo Rey Community Center. We're excited to be here, and thank you, Joe, for hosting us this evening. And the flowers and the doilies on the table, the staff was extra. So thanks so much. We appreciate it. And anybody who's in the building, please let them know that we want to make sure the food gets eaten. So please, get staff who's doing anything on tonight, but please make sure you let them know that. I'll give a few remarks to kind of set the table a little bit, and then we'll turn it over to Mr. Garcia to take us through what happens here at Cristo Rey, show us a little bit of the facility, we'll talk a little bit about programs, and then send you on your way this evening. So, a couple of things. We always start with some of the things we've been working on in the city, which I want to always reiterate, it's not a comprehensive list by any stretch, but just a little flavor of some of the things that maybe have transpired between last week and this week. So a couple of the things we're working on, let's see, last night we had the Housing and Neighborhood Resource Summit. There were a couple of folks from here that I know that Oprah was down there and Toby was down there. And that was down in the 2nd Ward on the very southern edge of the city at North Elementary, which doesn't make much sense, except that's a man, Henry K. North, and he has an elementary school named after him, and it's on the cemetery. And the cemetery. North Cemetery is also there on the very southern edge of the city, right by Tina's house. So she's right down in that area. So that was a really fun night. We do housing and neighborhood resource summits quarterly. We move them around the city, one per ward, and we go clockwise around the city. So we'll be over in the 3rd Ward next. So in November, in November, we'll be over in the 3rd Ward at Wexford Elementary. We bring out a whole lot of stuff of a variety of backgrounds, everything from social services to the police chief, the fire chief, assistant fire chief. We'll bring out people like the land bank and others. We try to bring out a lot of things that are probably of interest to neighbors. I can't say that every resource there is of interest to you, but I think I can say with high confidence that something there is of interest to you. Hi, welcome. Come on in. Lots of dinner in the back. And so there's a lot of resources that we bring out, showcase, try to give some updates that are specific to that area. Although we didn't do as much of that from the podium last night, but we had Andy Kilpatrick here, who's our Director of Public Service, who can answer specific questions about street signs, signals, sewers, and one more S. Sidewalks, thank you. That's Public Service, 5 S's. And so, but we bring out a lot of resources in the community. So that was on last night. Those are really big events, and so we'll have another one in November. Let's see, over the weekend we did a very large bulk trash and leaf and litter cleanup down in the Churchill Downs neighborhood. We had about 60 plus volunteers down there. Partnered with Granger on bulk trash removal. Bulk trash is, as you know, very expensive to get rid of. If you have one like couch or dresser or something that would require a trash tag that costs $40 to dispose of. So if you have a basement full of garbage that needs to get disposed of, as you can imagine, any of you that have done that before, where you call a private company or it's very expensive. And so we do have some dollars within the city to do bulk trash cleanups. Those are CDBG dollars, Community Development Block Grant, and so they can only be used in very specific areas of the city. About 3/4 of the city, they'll fall into those areas. So if you are interested in bringing that type of cleanup to your neighborhood, we'd love to talk to you. They require some effort on behalf of the neighborhood in terms of promotion, organizing. But we bring out the equipment. We cover the cost of all the disposal fees. This is Erin's world. She wrangles a whole lot of volunteers and deploys them. So we had MSU students out there. We had Lansing Eastern students out there. We had a whole bunch of folks from the neighborhood and did a lot of good work from about 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. And it was sunny and it was nice. We never get that. We usually have cleanups in the sleet. And so that was a treat to be dry and warm at the end of the day. So that was great. Lots of other things happened. Was there anything else, Erin, in the past week? What's that? Those are big chunks. All the other stuff taking place. Yep, there will also be neighborhood roundtables tomorrow. Every month we do what are called neighborhood roundtables. We hosted them in Foster, where you were last week. Those are opportunities for neighborhood leaders, which is a self-defined term. You want to call yourself a neighborhood leader? You are. To come and talk with one another. We bring different resources there. It's a pretty light agenda. It's a conversation. We do those at 6 p.m. on Thursday and then 8 a.m. on Friday. If you think neither one of those are convenient and you really want a different time, this is all made up. We just make this stuff up. So if you want something else, we can make that up. But don't tell me you want a different time and then don't show up, right? So we can craft those. But we have found that the two most attractive times for folks are in the evening and then offering another one in the morning. So those take place at Foster this week, and our Director of Economic Development and Planning, Brian Gray, will be there, and he will be able to talk about the breadth of his department, but we really asked him there that people had a lot of questions about trash and code, so we'll talk trash and code, which is fascinating stuff. So those are some of the things that are happening. The last week of the month is always very busy in our department with some of these the roundtables, and when it corresponds with both Citizens Academy and Summit, that means a lot of work. So it's good, all good stuff.
I was saying 5 little rooms. The 5 little rooms limited us in how we distributed food because there wasn't enough room for someone to walk around and see what we had. So that operation back then was an individual would come, and based on the size of their families, we'd give them boxes of food. Okay. We are not a clinic. We're a medical practice. People who come here see their same provider. That's the patient provider relationship exists here.
I've learned a lot about the city so far. In fact, I used the Lansing Connect app this week to report a couple potholes in my neighborhood, and within 72 hours they were filled. So that's something I learned our first week.
Hi everyone, Erin Buitendorp here, Neighborhood Resource Coordinator for the Department of Neighborhoods and Citizen Engagement. We are here at the Lansing Fire Department Station 8. Tonight is our 8th, I don't remember, night of Citizens Academy. So we're going to learn from Chief Mackey and Assistant Chief Tobin, Assistant Chief Robinson, and our Chief Engeltier. I'm going to say his name wrong probably. We're gonna learn about emergency management, everything that the fire department encompasses, and then we're gonna take a fascinating tour of Station 8 and potentially get to try on some of the garb, which is pretty awesome. And if you can do it in, I think it's like 2 seconds flat, they've got the boots and the, coveralls, and I'm saying everything wrong, but the stuff that you put on so that you can go fight a fire. So come along, it's gonna be an interesting ride.
So here in the Emergency Operations Center, we have several different areas that are made up. For instance, over here, if you look at this table, this is what's normally considered our planning section. Within planning, we handle planning and logistics. That's where our human service unit is. We also handle our resources, we handle equipment purchasing, and sometimes finance sits here. And then over on the other side of the room, if we work our way over here, is at this table here is normally where our operations side sits. Within the operations sections of the part of the room is where the police chief, the fire chief, and other people that are managing the actual operations of the event or the disaster occur. And then over on the far side, if you look over there where currently the food is being served, that's our conference room. And within the conference room is normally where our executive team works. Our executive team may be made up of the mayor or any of his staff, any of the other department heads that don't have positions at the other 2 tables, and that's where some of the other upper level decisions are made for the city. Clark?
So a lot of great learning that's been going on. When Mayor Shore asked that we create the Citizens Academy, this is exactly the kind of thing he had in mind, which is to help people understand the complexity of the city, all the breadth of services that we provide for our citizens, and most importantly, to spotlight the great people that work for the city of Lansing and the things they do to keep us safe and to run the city. So we're really excited to be here with Lansing Fire tonight.
welcome everybody. My name is Melinda Barr. I'm the Director of Special Events here, and I work directly for Nick Grieser, who will be on the mic in a few minutes. We do about 200 to 250 special events here at the stadium that do not involve baseball. So that's over and above the 70 home games that we do here for baseball. So things like the Beer Fest and the food truck mashup that you saw last weekend, and then a number of catered events similar to your event this evening that you'll be out in the View, which is our premier banquet space in the outfield. About 5 years old now, being our 5th season. So thank you guys for all coming out. I know you're going to enjoy all the stuff you're going to learn from the behind-the-scenes tour that Nick has for you, and have a great dinner once you get to the View.
Well, hello, good evening. As Melinda mentioned, thank you for the introduction. My name is Nick Grieser. I'm the team president for Lansing Lugnuts. Welcome to Cooley Law School Stadium. I have been here for over 18 years. So I just finished my 18th season with the club. I'm a bit of an anomaly in the sports world, as this is the only professional sports organization that I've ever worked for. That is very unusual in our industry. So usually you work 2 or 3 years and hop around. I've been lucky and fortunate enough to be with this organization, this community, my entire professional career, and I am now this is home. Married a local girl, have 2 young kids. We live in Mason, and so this is the Mid-Michigan community is now my home. So the city owns the stadium. So in a very simple way of explaining it, it's no different than somebody that rents an apartment. It's just a lot bigger scale. So the Lugnuts are a private organization. We're a private business. We've had the same owner since day one. Tom Dixon, who brought the team here, worked with then Mayor Hollister to build the stadium and has worked with every administration since to keep it up, to have the upkeep and maintenance done to it. But it is a landlord-tenant type of agreement. Again, much more complex than what an apartment would be, but we have a revenue sharing lease. So if we make money, the city makes money. And as we brought on our special event department 5 years ago, one of the many reasons we brought that on was to activate the city-owned facility more, find ways, if you're not a baseball fan or you don't care about Lansing Lugnuts games, find ways to make it open to the public more often. We are in the baseball off-season, but as Melinda hates hearing the off-season word because that means it's the events in season. You'll see the stadium will be in a couple of areas to where you can tell it's certainly being cleaned and turned around, and then there's some areas like the concourse lot of the stadium, we're setting up for our Holiday Lights campaign, which was the first we started last year. We are programming 12 nights, 10 nights this year, every Friday and Saturday between Silver Bells and Christmas, to where we opened the stadium up intentionally very, very affordable. We wanted people to come in and be able to have an economically fun event that you can celebrate with your family around holidays. If there's any questions right now, I'd be happy to answer them. That was a great question, Andy. Good question, and I'll get your question in a second. We will going to go upstairs to our suite level. We'll see one of our suites. We will see our press box. We will see our suite level bar. We will go downstairs and see a couple of different locker rooms. We'll go out onto the field, and then we will come back up and check out the concourse level and head out to the View. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's really most of the inner workings. And then obviously you'll see the View, our banquet center, as Melinda mentioned. I always like to remind everybody, this is single-A minor league baseball. I realize it's not as glorious as it would be if you went to Yankee Stadium or Michigan State football or basketball, but for what we have, I've seen a lot of different stadiums. Of the 160 minor league baseball teams, I bet I've been to 50 of them. And for a single-A club, we have an extremely nice facility. I think sometimes people in this community don't realize the asset that we have. I have seen some pretty rough ballparks around the country. But again, to talk about single-A, we have a 9-foot by 90-foot right field ribbon board on the outfield wall, and then we have a suite level facade that's about 300 foot wide. That is very unusual for this level. That's usually more something you see at AA or AAA level. And the levels are really based on geography and population. So that's why we're a single-A club based on our population. You look at places like Whitecaps, for example, it's Grand Rapids. Their population could justify a AA team, but the geography doesn't. There's no AA team that's close to them. So it's a little bit of both on how they balance that.
Good evening, everybody. Hi, good evening. It's a party, folks. Don't be so quiet, have a good time. It's Wednesday at 5:20 and it's pitch black dark, so we have to celebrate a little bit and have a good time together. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. to celebrate the Citizens Academy and our second class of graduates. Yeah! Class of 2019, woo! We have several of your classmates that have that nasty cold that's going around, and so they were kind enough to not bring it out and share it. So there's a few of you that had to be out, and so we certainly miss those classmates and are thinking of them. Hopefully everyone's feeling better on the mend soon, and hopefully all of you are doing well this evening. I'm Andy Crawford. I serve as the Chief Innovation Officer and Director of Neighborhoods and Citizen Engagement for the City of Lansing. And we're so excited to see you all one last time as a class in this setting, and to meet some of your family and friends and invited guests. Really are grateful to spend one more evening with you and talk about the importance of the Citizen Academy and our gratitude as City of Lansing staff and leadership in your willingness to participate and help us think critically about the services we deliver in the City of Lansing, how we do our jobs, and how we can better serve you as citizens. So thank you so much. And I won't hog the mic because the mayor's here, so we will give him the opportunity to talk about you mostly. Did you finish your sandwich? Okay, good. All right, I was trying to talk until I saw that last bite of sandwich. So that's great. So welcome, Mayor Andy Shore.
That is a bright light. Well, thank you, Andy. Didn't you do a great job? And the staff. Can all of our Department of Neighborhood staff stand up? I know Delisa's already standing, so do one of these. But they do a fantastic job. I know Erin is out. She's having a child, so had a child. She gave birth. All right, so she's excused, and we're very excited for her. But they do a fantastic job. And I know we've got a few other folks here. Andy Kilpatrick is in the back. We are all Andys, in case you're wondering. So he's in the back. He's our public service director. Many of you probably met him. But I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited for the second class. I have talking points, and I'll probably use like half of them, so my apologies. But Andy Crawford came to me with this idea early on. I got elected mayor, and there's like a zillion things going on, and we're trying to figure out everything. And we created, first thing we did was to create a Department of Neighborhoods and Citizen Engagement, because neighborhoods has always been important in Lansing, but it was always kind of a small position buried in some department that actually Andy Crawford had. And we said, it's not a small position buried in a random department. It's a full director position on cabinet, and it's important. So that was the first thing we did. And I think that's just paying off. I want to grow this city, and you hear about economic development in the news, you hear about jobs, and you hear about growth and this and that, but you don't grow a city unless you grow your neighborhoods as well. You don't grow a city unless you don't work with your citizens every day. And then she came to me and said, we should have a small core of citizens who really understand everything. Everything. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. And she said, we're going to do a Citizens Academy. And like I've been trying to do, I said, okay, go make it happen. So that's where it came from, and you all are our second graduating class. I had a woman on the way in. I can't find you in the crowd. There you are. She said, as we walked in, she said, I feel like when we started I was a resident, and now I'm a citizen. And I'm going to use that. I'm totally stealing that. That's what we do. I'm a politician. You tell me something cool, I'm stealing that. But that is exactly it. And that's not on my talking points. That is exactly it. We wanted people who really understood A to Z what we do. Everybody knows they pay taxes. Everybody knows they walk on their roads, but nobody knows what's below the roads. Nobody knows what it takes to make all of that happen. So I'll go back to the talking points. I mentioned Erin, Delisa, Fontaine is over here. Sean Carter is over here. There he is. So I do want to recognize them. I also should recognize our Lansing public media staff. Are you guys around somewhere? They're in the back. I see hands. They're in the back. There you are. I assume they're gonna do it again. Last year they made like the coolest video So I assume that's coming again. If you guys were doing stuff and they followed you around with like a mic in your face, and you're like, oh my God, get that mic out of my face. You're gonna be on the video and you're gonna love it. We do Walking Wednesdays, they do that to me every week, and I love it, and they come up with some of the best stuff. And then the Citizen Academy class of 2018, last year's class, I know they have been very generous. They helped to provide much of the food, and they have stayed involved, so that's awesome. So I already talked about some of this stuff. Got that. You know, when Andy came to me with this and we started this, we thought, I thought, all right, this is a cool idea, but we thought, is anyone really going to apply for this? This is a lot of time, a lot of effort, and we didn't know. And it turned out we had a lot of people apply. You know, this year we had to do a random drawing, and you all are the lucky ones. I hope you all went and bought lottery tickets that night. If you didn't win the lottery, don't blame me, or blame me, that's fine. But we're really excited about such a demand. You know, we're seeing more and more people who want to be part of this program. And that's why we do it, to help educate. You know, it's almost disappointing you can't serve everybody, but we only have limited capacity. We want it to be, a good, tight group of people. You don't want it overloaded, because you want people to have questions, and you want people to be able to really have the full experience. And Lansing citizens are committed. They're committed to being better citizens. So thank you for that. This class represented a great deal of it represented our broadly diverse population, and I'm excited about that. I just left Suits in the City, which is the LGBTQ+ event that happens every year, where we talk about kind of our diversity, and this group had everything. You know, we had a diverse population. We had different genders and races, sexual orientation, religious affiliation, age. We really did hit the mark in terms of making sure that we had a good representation. We have people who are new to the city, and we have people who've been in the city for a very long time. And again, it was a random draw, so being able to get that kind of applicant pool and pick from that pool, it says a lot about our city. So I'm excited that you all were part of it, able to talk and chat with each other. We're glad that we were able to run you through the gamut and get you into the program. We had about 1,000 employees here in the city of Lansing, and we're glad you got to meet quite a few of them. You spoke with the city attorney, with parks, wastewater treatment, public service, the city clerk, about elections, city council, the fire department, Board of Water and Light, in the stadium, got to meet with code compliance, and more than that. I got to see you when you first started, and I'm assuming that you were very different people than you were when I first welcomed you to the program. So we're excited that you were able to do that. I'm only 2 years into this job, and there's still stuff that I learn every day, new things about the city, and having you all out there being able to talk about all the great things that we do is incredibly exciting for me. And as you go around and talk to people, we hope you'll share those experiences. We hope you'll talk about all the things that gets done in this city that people probably don't know about. That's what this was designed for, to give you that opportunity to think about our city and everything that goes on. I think a lot of people here, they love Lansing. They love being here. They love working here. They love living here. They love the parks. They love the art. They love, whatever it is you love about our city. That's what drew you to this program. And now you can spread that word. You can spread the gospel of everything that goes on here. And we've kind of set you up to do that. So we're happy that you'll be able to go do that. We hope that you'll continue to stay involved. You've now got your Wednesday nights free. So if you want to occupy that Wednesday night or some other night, we've got lots of boards and commissions. There are tremendous opportunities. There are people that have started out on many of our boards and commissions and have gotten elected to city council and maybe gotten elected mayor. So, feel free to run for mayor as soon as I'm done. We expect that you are the go-getters, that you will want to continue to serve this community, and you need to stay on me and to stay on our staff. If there's a board you want to serve on the public service board, if you loved dealing with the wastewater treatment facility and you want to be on that public service board, let me know. Send in an application. Let Andy Crawford know that you applied, and when we have openings, we'll get you on that board. We want to utilize everybody here to continue to be able to serve this community in how you want to serve. At its core, this is a civics class, and we're teaching you about government. And it's one thing I've learned in my few years serving. Government is not a spectator sport. It's an all-in sport. It's not even a sport, it's a bad word to use, because it's so important. Sport is great. You can cheer for the Lions and have your heart broken when they screw up one way or the other, and we've all been there. But if we screw up, people get affected. So it's tremendously important. And again, having people who understand this city, that's what we need. If I could do this on a grand level and have 118,000 people run through this program, Andy Crawford would quit. So we can't do that. But I really want everyone to know what you know. So I'll be done there. I've kind of gone on long enough, but we're so tremendously proud of everybody here. I'm so excited. You are all always welcome to get a hold of me, to contact me in my office. If you see something you love, if you see something you hate. We got a phone call today from a guy who just randomly called and said, I was walking down the street and there was a patch crew patching potholes, and I mentioned to the guy, the patch crew, that there was a stop sign that came down and it was down and never went back up. And he called, he said, and then the next day that stop sign was up. He left this very long voicemail. So it was sent to me. We're gonna give a commendation to those employees. I called the citizen, left him a voicemail, and I said, thank you so much for that call. And I've done that several times, and every once in a while I get someone who's home, and I'm like, hi, this is Andy Shore, and they're like, who? And then they realize, and they're like, oh, shoot, why are you calling me? Then it's like, do I owe you taxes? No. You were complimentary to our city employees, and we hear enough complaints that when someone calls and really wants to commend what we do, we want to treasure that. So those workers are going to get commendations in their file. They have good customer service, and that's what we're trying to promote, more of that. So anyway, thank you all for being here. Congratulations. We'll be giving out certificates, but I really appreciate you taking the time going through this program. And don't forget to spread the word. We want to see 10 times the number of people apply next year. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you, Mayor. As the Mayor mentioned, you've been through 10 weeks of different experiences within the city. We work really hard to create a breadth of experiences to really show the different types of things that the city's responsible for. Things that are very service and transactional, like we have to make sewers run. Thank you, Kilpatrick and team. And other things that are much more nuanced in their approach. How do we plan for the city? How do we attract investment? How do we program accordingly? And all of those things are on the plate of city leadership every day. And there's a lot of people that are dedicated to figuring those things out, to do more with less, as we've been asked to do for a number of years. And hopefully as we continue to grow our resources, that we can do more with more. That's a lot more fun, to do much more with more in the city for more people, and to really execute on the mayor's priorities that he has set for us. It's a real gift and honor to work for a mayor that does say yes. And so when we come with ideas and say we want to try this, we're really granted that. So that's just a moment of personal thanks I want to give to you, Mayor, that when we do come to you with ideas, they really get greenlit. And so, and most of our good ideas come from talking to our neighbors, and that's you. So the more conversations we have about what you want to see in the city, the more likely it is that we can make that happen. Throughout the course of our time together, you got a lot of information, you heard a lot of things, and everyone coming in has a very different level and different understanding of what the city does. So as the mayor mentioned, some of you are brand new to the city. Some of you have already served terms as elected officials in this city. Those are very different levels of understanding in the community. Some of you have a lot of depth of knowledge and education in this field, and that's why you wanted to be a part of this. Some of you are like, I don't know, do you work in that state capitol building? We're like, nope, that's the state. This is the city over here. So there's all kinds of different levels of understanding and exposure and lived experience and life experience. And so we do ask a couple of our folks that have participated to give some of their reflections, because we certainly program what we think, and then it's always great to hear from some of our students talk about maybe something they took away or something they want to impart to their classmates. So that's the part of the agenda we're at now. We've invited back one of our alum from last year. As you may have recall from our first session, we had a little panel of alumni on night one, and had them talk a little bit about what they've done since going through the academy last year. So I'll invite Brian Baer to the podium now. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Following the mayor is tough. One, I'm not much of a public speaker, but I'll make a few notes. Number one, congratulations. You guys did a lot of hard work, and I know that's a lot of time. And thank you for sticking with it and coming through the whole program. I'm not 100% sure I know why police asked me to speak, but I have a couple of theories. I'll run by you. My first theory is that she wanted someone to reassure you that there is life after the Citizen Academy. You will find a way to fill those empty evenings. Maybe spend time with your family, maybe what be, but there is life afterwards, and you should look forward to spending that time doing what you enjoy. But the other thing I suspect they want me to speak about is with this extra time you have now, and with the experience and the stuff you've learned in this program, is to go out and find a way to help share this with your fellow citizens, with your friends, your family, your coworkers, whoever. And what can you go out and do? You share this material. It's kind of not much fun to learn this stuff and not tell people about it. So I had the great pleasure of being invited to join the the Mayor's Neighborhood Advisory Board. This is a group that we advise the mayor about neighborhood issues, but most importantly, there's a granting system for neighborhoods in the city. And we get to give money away. I'm told this is the most fun committee in the city because you get to give cash to people. But I definitely urge people, as the mayor said, to look at other committees. I mean, I must admit, some of those other committees, public service looks interesting. So there are lots of things you can do. You now know more about the city, you're better prepared to those committees. If that doesn't interest you, I certainly urge people to join the neighborhood group. If you're not involved in the neighborhood group, your neighborhood watch, and you can share what you know here, because your neighbors start having questions like, well, we're having problems with traffic, we have problems with whatever. You can say, oh, I know, we talked about that at Citizen Academy, this is who we can talk to. So I think it's really helpful you can share this experience within your neighborhoods in a group like that. If you're not interested in being in a formal group, there's certainly online activities. I find myself spending a lot of time in a neighborhood group. People ask questions like, I have this problem. In my streets, I can't get a pothole filled, or I can't get whatever. So well, I know from when I was on, I don't ever say, well, this is Canada. I say, but check out this website, or check out this person. Here's the person to talk to. And I find it I think it's helpful for people to know where they can go. And you've learned this information from the work you've done here. I'm sure I have other notes here. That basically covers what I had to say. So I didn't have much to say, but again, congratulations. I think you're gonna have. I think it's a great program. I think you'll enjoy being able to do this information, be able to do things with the stuff you've learned over the last couple of weeks. Thank you.
As Brian mentioned, he's a member of our Mayor's Neighborhood Advisory Board, and we were having a challenging situation on that board. And he said, well, do you want to just go over and sit on my porch and have a beer and talk about that? And I thought, that's that's it, right? That's neighboring, and it was wonderful. So, we really can solve problems together on the porch with a beer. That helps, but helps me. So anyway, thanks so much, Brian, for sharing that, and I want to invite you, Guillermo Flores, to the mic. You have a whole book?
Chapter 1, just kidding. All right, everyone. Hi, my name is Guillermo Flores. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm very excited to be here with all of you tonight. I moved to Michigan in June 2018 to start my career, and from there I basically said, okay, I want to live in downtown Lansing because it looks really cool. Unfortunately, that didn't happen because I had to sign a lease really quickly, and I ended up closer to my employer. But then as soon as that lease was done, I moved to downtown Lansing in April 2019 already. And right from the get-go, I saw how lively it was, and I really wanted to make sure I was giving myself to Lansing in any way that I could. Something that really stood out to me was the hashtag #MyKindOfPeople, which launched in February of 2019, created by Redhead Studio, and that was the whole rebranding with Lansing. That was really one of my favorite pieces when I saw the marker for the branding, because the 3 stacks are on the L. And when that clicked in my brain, I was like, oh, that is awesome. So that really made me happy, because I wanted to make sure that I was in the city that I could learn, that wasn't too daunting in terms of size, and like the mayor said, wanted to grow. And we want to get more young professionals here so they understand what it looks like. When I have friends visit me from other cities, whether that be Houston, Chicago, New York, LA, they're like, wow, it's really cool here. I'm like, yeah, I know, I told you. I'm not just taking pictures to say it's not. So that's been really exciting. And I just did want to say, if you all could take like a minute at your table just to discuss your favorite local businesses in Lansing. So go ahead. Your favorite local businesses in Lansing. All right, so hopefully you'll be able to discuss a little bit more of those later. The reason I do that is to make sure that we are helping the local economy and business owners. And when you're somewhere like Lansing, I feel like it can go a lot farther, and that's something that I've really seen. So I just want to share a couple of my favorite local businesses, because I've gotten to know the owners, the workers, and just the space and the care that they put into their products. It's absolutely amazing. So the first 2 are in downtown Lansing, mostly because I can walk there pretty easily. That would be for Crepe's sake, savory and sweet crepes. Tacos Monterrey, which is right across the street. They just celebrated their 1-year anniversary, absolutely amazing. I had a group of my students over for dinner to close out the semester this past year, and they catered it because I didn't have time to cook, so I'm like, I know who I'm gonna call. And the students all loved it, so they got some more business there. El Chaparrito, which is in Old Town, absolutely wonderful and super colorful inside, so hopefully you've been there. And then Casa Rosada, which is not a restaurant, but sometimes they do have food, and that is like an art gallery, an open space, pretty close to here actually. So like I said, it's been really wonderful to be a part of this class and to see what we've done, and I want to make sure that this is a place for young professionals and everyone to feel welcome and to know there's a lot of creativity here, and you just have to find it. And I know this was the right place as soon as I saw all the murals popping up all over the place this past fall. It just within the week, like it already looks so different. And living downtown, being in Rio Town, and all over the city, seeing where those spaces have popped up, and just to know that you saw the actual diversity in the art was really, really welcoming. So yeah, that's all I had. And thank you so much, and I appreciate your time.
The mayor will be so happy that you mentioned both the rebranding and the Below the Stacks mural project. Yeah, he's like, yes! So good. I'd like to invite up Barbara Lawrence.
Thanks, Andy. I want you to bear with me for a minute. I want you to pretend that the year is 2029. It's been 10 years since we graduated from Lansing Citizens Academy. And as a cohort, we've been extremely successful using our academy experience to find ways to improve life for the citizens of Lansing. So we're gathered tonight on our 10-year anniversary, and this is our class reunion. While hanging around the buffet table, I've heard about several of the successful projects that you've led. For example, following our visit to Cooley Law School Stadium, Nick had lunch with his old friend, Perry Totter, who just happened to mention that his Quidditch team was looking for a place to practice. Well, thanks to his Citizens Academy tour, Nick knew that the stadium had capacity for another sports partnership. And that's how Lansing became the center for the U.S. Quidditch League. Nick was the league's first commissioner. Nick uses the revenue from the Butterbeer concessions to underwrite free parking in downtown Lansing. Thanks, Nick. We were well fed at all our classes, but especially at the Cristo Rey Center. Remember that delicious baked potato bar? And the inspiring example of Center Director Joe Garcia. All that inspired the trio of Oprah, Mary Beth, and Linda to put together that very successful Lansing Cooks for Cristo Rey competition. I asked them how they got celebrity judges Ina Garten, Gabe Hierro, and Martha Stewart to come to Lansing. And they said, we explained all the good that's done at Cristo Rey under the leadership of Joe, and they all said, tell us when, and we'll be there. The proceeds from that night built a new medical clinic. Take a bow, you talented trio of women. Remember the night we toured the wastewater treatment plant? The noses of Richard and Frank didn't forget. I don't know how, but they found a way to harness the heat coming off the oxygen aeration ponds and diverted it to a greenhouse operation that now produces a cash crop. That's how the city of Lansing became the first municipality nationwide to produce an income stream from marijuana farming. They stipulated the initial income to the city pension fund, and not only solved that deficit, but have given Lansing's HR department the most attractive benefit package in the state. Don't those guys rock? Yes. I don't have time to tell you about Paul's renovations to wink and blink and nod into high-rise apartments, or the Lansing Ninja competition that Ranjor organized after being inspired by all the equipment that we saw at Lansing Fire Station 8. It's clear to see, though, that this group took the Citizens Academy to heart. And in return, they've made so many innovative contributions to Lansing citizens. I'd like to especially thank Andy Crawford and her staff for the incredible way they organized the Citizens Academy. But as you know, they've passed that responsibility on since leaving the city. They were invited to our reunion, but they said their regrets. However, Andy did send this lovely note. Do I have time to read it? Okay. Dear former Academy class, I'm so sorry I couldn't be with you tonight as you celebrate your very successful 10-year anniversary. When I first laid eyes on you, I had a hunch you would be a special cohort. And I'm so proud of all your work on behalf of my former city. As you know, I left Lansing about 8 years ago for a great opportunity in television after Alex Trebek bought the farm. Hammond Farm. He just fell in love with the area when he came to MC the groundbreaking for the new City Hall. So now I'm extremely busy as the new host of Jeopardy as I supervise the new Clues crew of Delisa, Sean, Erin, and all their friends. Please forgive me for not catching the red eyes to join you tonight. And again, congratulations on all your Academy-inspired accomplishments. And if you ever get to California, please bring me some Lansing swag. I'm homesick. Love, Andy Crawford.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity to stand in front of you today. I have lived in Lansing for about 19 years. Lansing has been a place that I call home since my family came here in the cold February morning. This is a place I am always attracted to. I have been to many parts of the world. There's something special about Lansing. and the growth that is happening right here, right now. Programs like the Citizens Academy shows how Lansing can be unique from many other places. Over the past several weeks, I have had the privilege of visiting different departments and ask difficult questions with some very reassuring answers that give me confidence in the city that I live in. My senses were heightened, awakened, especially going to the wastewater treatment plants. Finally, I would like to just thank the City of Lansing, especially the Department of Neighborhood and Citizens Engagement, for their leadership in this program. The way you seek to involve the community in the decision process and the transparency in the decisions being made in the city is truly admirable. Thank you, and keep up the good work.
Well, thank you so much to all of you who said yes to coming up and speaking tonight. In fact, here at SWAC, lovingly known as SWAC, South Washington Office Complex, houses the entire Lansing Public Media Center. And you can come and you can have your own TV show here. So that's true. I know, right? Yes. So yeah. So we can give you all the information about how you can take the course. It's the fourth Saturday of the month. You come and learn all about how to do video production here and how to use your equipment as part of the Lansing Public Media Center. And you can then check out equipment. You can take it out and go film and come back. And we have really talented people who work here at the Lansing Public Media Center. If you go on to Lansing Public Media, of course you can see all the things that they do in terms of filming and broadcasting city council meetings. You can watch those. You can watch those from home. So they do a great job of doing that, but then they also put together content. But this is a clip that they're so good about putting together in like a day after they film the last segment. So, Citizens Academy Part 2, the movie.
I love learning everything new and everything reinforced as well. And so for me, I've gotten both. I enjoyed listening to City Council. I've always enjoyed listening to them. Parks and Recs has always learned something new. So meeting other people here and getting to know them and the different activities that they're doing for their neighborhood and they're doing for the city, that's what it's all about for me.
Every week we take an in-depth look at every department in the city, give a little bit more information to the citizens so that they're more knowledgeable about their city government. So it's a lot of fun. It's great seeing the citizens learn all of the additional information and even learning some things myself. I've been with the city since 2014, and with these 2 sessions of Citizens Academy that I've gone through, I've learned more than I ever had before.
Citizens Academy experience has changed my perspective in understanding the behind the scenes and the connections of the resources that goes into helping engage our community and helping to connect our community. So not only does the city play a major part, but also the partners that are within the community and how they work together to make our community, make our city great. So I would say it was a fantastic experience.
I love that we're able to take our citizens, our residents of the community, into sort of an intensive look at what goes on in city government. I think a lot of people maybe have some misperceptions or, just don't know the details, don't know what goes on day to day across the board with the city. So it's really exciting that we can share those experiences, that we can take people behind the scenes, that we can give them access to department directors and department staff who are really making the work of the city happens.
I am the chair of the Neighborhood Advisory Board, and I want to be able to offer resources as much as possible to citizens as far as like how to improve their neighborhood. And what things that the city can help them do.
I'm just thankful for the opportunity. Thankful for the city of Lansing for giving me this opportunity to be able to experience the just backstage or a back perspective of like a lot of the things that are happening here. And so I'm just thankful. Just thankful for the opportunity to be here and be able to experience all that. So thank you.
I joined Citizens Academy because I wanted to learn more about how I could be active in my neighborhood, take ownership, get involved in the issues, so I'm not just the one who's complaining. I want to know how I can be part of the solution.
I've learned that there's different departments that handle the different issues that citizens have, and I'm very grateful to meet all these people firsthand.
So Jasmine Anderson. Yeah, I think we can do it now. Linda Appling. Richard Bale. Richard, did I say your name correctly? I was going to go Bailey, and then I went, oh, I forgot to go down. I forgot to check that again. My apologies. Ben Dowd. Did you carpool here with the mayor? Nick Eaton. Thank you for being on brand with that sweatshirt today, Nick. Well done. Melanie Fierro. Thanks. Guillermo Flores. Bring the hype. Wendy Harns. Tina Houghton. Oprah Janal. Barbara Lawrence. And Barbara, I know we shortchanged you an A on the program, but it is correct on your diploma. So for your official transcript. Scott Moles. Bonjour Musa. Vanessa Schaefer. Joy Shantz. Emily Smith. Denise Van Louie. Toby Voigt. And new daddy, Paul Wozniak. We really appreciate just your efforts to make this city what we all want it to be, and are so grateful to be in community with all of you. So have a wonderful rest of your evening. It's a pleasure to meet your family and friends. Have a great night, and we'll see you, at a Board or Commission meeting soon. Take care.